Nick. Hey, Tia. Where is Charlotte? Where is she? Hey, Indy. Tia, I'm tired. I haven't been doing anything and I'm tired. I hope you're well. Where is Charlotte? Oh, there she is. Morning.
Morning.
Oh, it's so lovely to see your face. I was just saying, I feel so tired.
Yeah, no, I'm tired. I think that workout definitely just last night, I'm out now. I don't even know what I am, where I am.
Oh my God, it's just like, how can we be tired? Did anything? Well, we are doing something.
Yeah. I think it's just like mentally thinking about everything just makes you exhausted.
Do you know what? I think that's a good point. Like, just so draining.
Yeah.
Like, every day, it's kind of like something comes out in the news, but it's not certain. So it's just quite the time. But so see you. Me and Charlotte talk all the time. Basically, we probably spoke every day, haven't we?
Yeah, every day. Yeah.
It's been really nice. It's funny because we've never met. I think I think I found you. Maybe I don't.
I can't remember now.
But it was just kind of like down the rabbit hole of Instagram. Yeah, so it's just been really nice. I think especially through this time as well. Like, it's scary being a self-employed and a photographer. Like, it's just so
definitely.
So to kind of have the same peeps around you,
someone else to bounce off and just to like vent whenever everything's just messed up,
just completely messed up. So how have you, I mean, obviously I know, but people that are joining, how have you been? Like, good?
Yeah, I've been okay. Obviously up and down. Some day I'm not okay and don't really want to do anything. Other days I'm totally fine and I'm up for doing like, I don't know, like I've been doing loads of different things, but yeah, just some days I just don't want to do anything. But I think everyone's the same, really.
Yeah, and I think it's like not feeling guilty about that as well. Like, honestly, the past couple of days, my other half has been amazing because I've just been a kind of like just an absolute couch potato. Like, the house is a mess.
That's fine.
Yeah, and I'm like, just switched off for a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
I feel back today. Like, yeah, better than Monday, Tuesday. But I think, just don't feel guilty about feeling like that.
No, not at all. Not definitely during this time. I mean, or any time. Like anytime you need a day off, like that's fine. Like the world's still gonna go and you're still gonna be okay tomorrow. But for that day, just chill.
Yeah, absolutely. What so I'm gonna ask you, what have you been doing to keep busy? But the one main thing, come on to that.
Okay, so apart from that main thing, I've been baking a lot, which I never really did before, but I feel like
Is that
this day, yeah, I mean, on and off.
Like, I had
Oh
that
no.
baker dude. No.
No, maybe like when I used to live at home, I used to bake a lot, but not since I've been here really. Um, yeah, so just baking only because if there's no chocolate in the house, but I've got ingredients, I'm just gonna make something. I need to eat. I need to eat something sweet.
It was banana bread, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I'm gonna do that again today.
Nice.
I've been tie-dyeing. Again, I feel like it's all sort of crafts that everyone's doing during this time.
Yeah, it's kind of like I haven't made banana bread. Like, and tie-dye.
Yeah.
Like, do you have to put it in your washing machine?
Yeah, so It is, but
Yeah.
I like put the dye on, so I'll pre-wash the garment and then I'll put the dye on, and then I
Yeah.
leave it for 24 hours so it like dries. So
Ah,
like when you put it in your washing machine, put it on like 20 or 30, like so cold.
cold.
And then like it doesn't like I put it in with like old towels or the towel that I've already done the tie dye on, so like it's not
Yeah,
gonna ruin anything. But it comes off a little bit, but then after that it seems to be fine and it doesn't dry and leak everywhere. You know, I dry outside, so
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, so just like patch
yeah.
stain everywhere.
Yes, that's what I don't want, but that hasn't happened so far, thankfully.
Oh, I might give that a go. Yeah, baking I'm quite terrible at, but I think I might be good at that. So it's just an old t-shirt, some paint,
Yeah, as long as it's cotton.
cotton. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't work if it's not cotton. That I fell into that mistake the other day.
I guess because cotton does it kind of like soak it up.
Yeah, yeah, and
Okay.
they're just dyes. I just bought a whole load from Amazon. You can buy like boxes of like colored dyes and you just put water in them and then just go for it.
Ah, I think yeah, it's kind of tie dyes the like the fashion print, isn't it? Of like
Yeah,
corona.
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, go. So out of everything, Charlotte, what are you missing the most? Like, what are you really missing?
Um,
Whether that's restaurant or
um, I mean, I did eat out not a lot, but like we would go to like Nando's,
yeah.
obviously, and places like that. But like Domino's is still running, so I'm not really missing that because I'm still getting pizza. So,
Still,
apart from that, just like a family, I think.
yeah, because your family are a bit far away from you, aren't they?
Yeah, so it's like 45 minutes on a train.
Oh,
So I used to live on the Scottish border. So yeah, I miss like getting the train and going to see them because I also work up there.
yeah.
So obviously I'm not working at the moment. So like I used to see them like 2, 3 times a week.
Well,
So obviously I've not seen them, but I do FaceTime mum every day and then my granny like every other week.
oh.
So I know I feel glad that I bought her an iPhone like a year ago because now I can actually FaceTime.
Yeah.
So yeah, I also really miss like being stressed about buying clothing for shoots. That's
Oh,
gonna sound so weird, but I miss that stress of like I
really?
need more stuff. Yeah.
I mean, that is like that's in your blood. That's a stylist thing. That's
Yeah.
a nightmare. So, yeah. So you're a stylist as well, aren't you? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll come on to that as well. We'll
Yeah.
come. So, what the first thing you're gonna do when we're oh, what's the first thing you're gonna do?
I would like to say I'm gonna shoot, but it depends on the restrictions.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's kind of like it's just all the questions again. There's you don't know what's right, what's wrong. It's just everybody's opinions that I ranted about yesterday to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just yeah, you don't know.
Yeah, so I'd like to say it would be that because like I want to feel like I can start maybe planning for like mid-July, end July, August sort of time now.
Yeah.
But I think it'll just depend on how many people you can be around when that restriction's lifted and um yeah, it's going to be to do with that. But hopefully shooting because yeah, I need to have that creativeness just
Yeah.
taken out of my brain.
Yeah. No. So let's talk about you then. Let's talk all about you. So how long have you been so do you call yourself you're a fashion photographer, right?
Yeah.
Not yeah, so fashion would you predominantly say kids fashion photography or general kids
Um, Only since a year ago
that you've kind of transitioned into the kids as well?
into juniors, yeah. Yeah, so my first junior shoot was probably March last year. I want to say I did my first like portfolio update.
Yeah.
Um, like yeah, it was definitely last year, and then I did a couple more, and then I did my first junior editorial on the 1st of June last year, I
Ah,
think it was. So I'm predominantly like more adult,
Yeah. It's
but it just depends really. I mean, I think a lot of people would say that my kids work at the moment has been better. Um, but then when I do an adult editorial like my one in January, I think people are like, "Oh, like that's really good." So I feel
yeah.
like some people don't really have a preference, but I suppose neither do I.
No, I mean whatever comes your way. Like it's. I
Yeah.
mean, when I went onto your website last night, like it's just. Again, that's another question that I want to come on to. Um, yeah, that's another question. Talk about your style. So I'm gonna scrap
Okay.
that thought. But so go to you being a fashion photographer, whether that's kids or
Yeah.
adults. So how long have you been a fashion photographer without the juniors?
Um, I'm gonna say 11 years.
Wow.
Um, yeah, like I think properly probably 10 or 11 years. Yeah, a long time.
Wow.
I
Um,
know.
okay, so 11 years. And then can you kind of go back and tell us how you originally got into it? Like where did it all start?
So my uncle gave me a film camera because he was a
Who
photographer.
knows? I wish that's how I got into it.
So I started off on film, and what I did was the friends I had at the time, which were sort of like theatre friends, because obviously that I've grown up in the theatre.
Yeah.
So I kind of was just like, you come with me. I'm gonna do a shoot. I'm gonna put clothes on you. So I'd like raid the theatre wardrobe, like the costume department.
So did styling come before then? Styling was kind of the first love.
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I think it's because I have grown up in the theatre and I had that costume wardrobe and I've always like dressed up in terms of like I've been on stage as a different part, or so I
Yeah.
feel like being in a different costume is given that it just gives you so much confidence, like you can be somebody else and you don't feel like you, and it just brings out like a whole different side to people.
Yeah.
So I was just like, yeah, I don't care whether you don't want to be in front of my camera, but we're gonna play along. So I would take them out. I would get all these different props, um, again from the theatre, just picked out different things, and then just take them to the local tennis courts, or and then just style them, put them in different positions, tell them to do something crazy, and then just like made a little sort of mini story out of it. And then from then I just I would advertise in my local town for people that wanted to model. And then just had people come and do little mini photo shoots. It was great.
Oh, that's amazing. So it was kind of so it birthed from styling to fashion photography, and then because I mean juniors is a new. I mean, if you've been doing it 11 years and you've been doing the kids like what, just over a year.
Yeah.
Gosh, so it was styling. Yeah, you love your clothes, don't you?
No, yeah, definitely.
Um, so what would be, if you could list a couple of things, what are your favourite things about being a fashion photographer?
Um, Definitely. Um, I mean, editorial, big one. Creating those stories that go round and round in my head, or seeing something and thinking, watching a TV program and thinking, oh, I'll do something to do with the 80s, or definitely that, like bringing people together that have never met before, and just seeing my ideas and them bring them to life is
Yeah.
just insane.
Do you ever kind of see a piece of clothing and or an accessory or something like that, and it can spark like an editorial, like a
Yeah.
story in mind? That's amazing. I wish I could do that with clothes. I'm like, oh, I'm not allowed to be naked. I need to put something on.
I mean, personally, I used to dress so well. I used to style myself really well. And now that has just transitioned into styling other people. And now I just will wear.
You kind of forget about yourself.
I just spend all my money on other people and not on me anymore, because to me, producing stuff and spending all my money on making something else look good
Yeah.
is worth way more than what I look like, because nobody's photographing me. So
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, when we turn up to work, I mean, obviously we got to look slightly professional, so we, you know, had a shower and brushed our teeth. But like in terms of, yeah, it's like hair up, comfy. Now you look amazing. Like it's all about you. So
yeah, I do spend most of the time on the floor anyway when I'm shooting. So
yeah, the positions you find yourself in, you don't even, as a photographer, you're just thinking about what you want to get. So whether you mean, I was of London, like on my back and on my front.
yeah, that's me all the time.
Yeah, you get people like, what?
Yeah,
But
passing by are like, is she okay? And I'm like, I'm fine, leave me, I'm okay.
so how would you describe your style then?
Oh,
Any way that you would, it's such a hard question, but can you think of any ways to describe your work? Like, is there anyone in particular that, it doesn't have to be a photographer, it could be anyone or anything, like you kind of take inspiration from?
yeah, Tim Walker.
Who?
Tim Walker.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I can see that actually. It's the colours in your work as well.
Yeah, so it's that storytelling, it's yeah, just making things abstract, taking people to places that are wearing clothes that not necessarily you would find in that area.
Yeah.
It's the props. I mean, in an ideal world, I would have a set designer and do that. Or I would also split myself in three and do everything, set design, you know, everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely story based. That definitely stems from being a theatrical child.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely the creativity, yeah, the imagination. Taking like certain locations, obviously up in the borders, there are areas that no one would ever know about because it's just so rural. And
Really?
yeah, so I was quite lucky in a case of people would be like, oh my God, where did you shoot that? Like, where is that? And I'm like, well, it's up in some hills. Like,
Yeah.
it's where I live. That's just on my doorstep.
Yeah.
So I was really lucky in that case. But yeah, just sort of like a lot of like movement. I try to do a lot of like movement and capture that. And obviously I've moved into more like group stuff in the past couple of years, so big groups.
Yeah.
I just love a challenge of, can I get all these people to do stuff at the same time and for it to look good?
Yeah. Because that's
But yeah. Oh yeah, like there are times where I get on the shoot. Yeah, no, honestly, that's me as well. Actually, on the shoot, I could be like crying at one point because it's not going right, and then I just have to sort of take a breather and be like,
not the
"It's
vision.
okay." No, I'm like, it's like, what are you doing?
This is not vision. This is thing. But
I know. I just got angry on one shoot because I wanted them to all walk forward at the same time, and it just wasn't happening. So I just got really angry.
what did you, their legs like the
Yeah,
same?
I was just like, walk normally. That's all I'm asking you to do is take one step forward.
You're thinking way too much into it. There's nothing better than, I think it's a creative thing as well, you know, flicking through a magazine or a book or scrolling or whatever, and you see an image, and I could have a story to that image and you could have a completely different story to that image. Like, yeah. I love that. And I feel like with you, you're incredible with the styling and the fashion and piecing, you know, clothing together. That, yeah. Whereas I would say my stories kind of lie here. Like, I'm like, right, now tell me your face. Like, I don't just want you, like, give me something. Like, yeah, tell me a story with this. So it's fascinating how, like, I don't know, how different we are, but similar as well.
Yeah.
Like, I just love it. So
yeah, I'm definitely like asking the models to also be actors in a way. So I'm like, here's your costume.
Yeah.
Like, this is your character. You may not have met this boy before, but you have to act like you've loved him all your life. Yeah, just like that's what I want them to give me. I want them to give me somebody that's not them.
Yeah, no, 100%. Zach, you got matching mugs. Very similar.
Hey!
What was we saying? Yeah, definitely. There's nothing worse, is there, than having somebody in front of the camera and you're just kind of like, give me something. Like, yeah, you do have to kind of, and I'd say a lot of the, you know, the kids or the models would say that, like, you kind of, what is it, like Beyonce, she has, what is it?
An alter ego.
An alter ego, that's kind of face on and get the job done. Yeah, it's just
yeah,
work with.
Yeah, it is true. Yeah.
My next question, Charlotte, was, so if either the kids or an older model were to book you, what would they expect from one of your shoots, whether that's an update or an editorial, kind of in terms of styling, atmosphere? Like, how would you say you are as a photographer?
Definitely do not take myself seriously in any way. Like, I am not somebody that's gonna turn up and you're gonna be like, do this now. No. Most of the time, like, I am laughing at myself.
Yeah.
Like the kids laugh at me. I tried to do TikTok dances recently on the shoot, and that they find that hilarious.
You haven't shown me any of those.
Oh well, here we go.
Oh no, I've I've not even tried.
That's the extent. Yeah. Well, when they book me for their portfolio updates, in a sense, they do take like the style package as well. It comes as like a one because my portfolio updates are not standard. Like they would book them to get more of a fashion sense, so they get 2 outfits styled by me.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I tend to ask the parents like whether there's certain colours they don't wear or anything they want me to stay clear of, if they're girly, if they're more boyish. And then from then I'll just look at different websites and buy things that they wouldn't necessarily wear.
Yeah.
Which I feel is better. Again, like I'm making them a different character, a different person.
Well, just to pause you there. In terms of like when they then go for jobs, I mean, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be wearing something that they're like, gosh, this I wouldn't normally wear this. So it's just, again, it's just that experience and building that on that confidence with something that you wouldn't normally wear, that you wouldn't choose yourself. I think that's really important, actually.
Yeah, I feel like to me, on my shoots, the kids perform better when they're not in their own clothes.
Interesting.
I feel like they feel like they are a model on a shoot,
Yeah.
rather than just, I wear this every day, I wear this after school, I wear this before swimming, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I've never thought of that. I love that. Yeah, that's really interesting.
So yeah, that's what I feel like. They feel like they're actually on a shoot,
Yeah.
and that they're getting the full package. They're getting, the clothes that they've never worn before that are pretty cool, and it makes them feel like somebody else, and it's not just them standing in front of me like in their own clothes feeling like their mum's taking a photo of them, or
I
like,
hate these jeans, but my mum makes me wear them. Like, oh.
yeah.
I've actually had that before.
I think we've all had a couple of them. Yeah, so that's what I feel, that when they come to me, they know that that's what they're going to get. They book me because they maybe want to go for jobs that are more like either high fashion based, or like I've had kids book like New Look after my stuff, JD.
Yeah.
So as much as like it's not the standard and I know it's not what agencies want, I do think that it gives brands a different view of what a child might look like in their clothes, or like styled properly.
Yeah, there's absolutely, I mean, in my opinion, there can't be anything wrong with having the standards updates that, everyone needs, but then having those fashion ones as well. Like, again, just wearing those clothes that you wouldn't normally wear. because I think both of those experiences are completely different.
Yeah.
Like I just said, building on that confidence for going for jobs and stuff, like, I think that's invaluable, really.
Yeah. Also, it's like I'll make them, you know, hold silly props or make silly faces or just take them more into like what you would see in like ID magazine, you know, with a hand over the eye. Like I'm doing a lot of that stuff, or something quite quirky that would also catch someone's eye and be like, oh, well, they can do that, and I know that they don't mind like
Yeah.
being silly.
Yeah. Because if you get on a job and you're asked to do something a bit quirky,
Yeah.
and you're a bit like, I've never done that. Like, that, you know, casting director, photographer, etc., would remember that, and that could go against you. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I'd never thought of the clothes like that. Actually, it's interesting. Do I talk about those yet? I think as we're on this topic, I'm gonna hold fire on the one I want to talk about. Who would be your dream brand to work for if you could work for any brand? Who do you think kind of suits your style, and who would be the dream to work for?
It's so strange because the majority of my work I use like charity shop clothing, only because you don't really see somebody else using that piece, whereas if you use a piece from ASOS, like, or Topshop or something, like other people do have access to that clothing and could also be like, oh, I love that piece, I want to use it. And then I don't like seeing people also using the same stuff as me, which I know sounds really weird, but like, so like I do a lot of charity shop shopping, which also I am missing, going to those charity shops and delving through that stuff. The smell, I miss that smell.
I mean, a whole live just on charity shop. I get so excited. I mean, as with the subject, really quickly, I found a pair of red Converse for Frankie.
Wow.
Just have a guess how much they were.
Were they new?
No, they were worn, but you know, they were fine.
£10?
30p. It still blows my day. It's from £1. Well, actually, no, I didn't. I just was like, keep the pound.
Yeah.
30p.
Wow. So, yeah, anyway, back to brands. Okay. So I think a lot of people tell me that my work looks mostly like H&M's campaigns.
Okay. Yeah, I can.
The kid stuff anyway, not my adult stuff. The kid stuff definitely H&M. I think because of the diverse models they use, the locations, their sort of whole aesthetic of their shoot looks very much like mine.
Yeah.
So kind of like that softy, sort of nearly vintagey sort of vibe, but then still keeping those colours in there as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, H&M I think for kids. Only because I feel like my style doesn't really go to like Zara. I'm not that sort of like, I can be like punchy, and I don't know, their stuff's quite, yeah, I don't think my stuff's very them. I could obviously change, but
no.
Yeah.
You, true to you.
Yeah, I think if they were booking me for me, I think probably H&M for kids. For adults,
I'm trying to think.
I mean, I'd love to work for Gucci. I'm always doing campaigns that are slightly on that Gucci edge. Like they've got that big sunglasses.
I feel like you do have like a Gucci colouring. If that makes sense. Thing, but I mean,
why? Thank you.
Like your as you go into your website, like I would say that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so maybe that. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay. Interesting. Do you prefer studio or location shoots?
Oh, location.
Location. day. That in particular.
I am not a studio girl at all.
Is
I
that
can do studio. As I was talking to you on our chat the other day, my boyfriend Dean is also a photographer, and he is my assistant on my shoots, and he is the best lighting guy you'll ever find.
down to me? I need to.
So yeah, I don't deal with lighting setups. Yeah, so he does that for me. I also use a studio which has a lot of natural light anyway.
Yeah.
So I booked the studio really just to use an indoor space with natural light.
Yeah.
So there are times where the editorial I shot in January, that was all shot from the natural light window. I didn't use any lights for that, but that was obviously indoors.
Yeah.
I just find that indoors for editorials are really difficult. I find like I can't be, or my brain doesn't understand how to be as creative indoors with an editorial.
Aren't you?
Yeah, like I just used like the white wall, and then just had to work on my group structures, my group poses. They had to work really well together because there was nothing else to distract you from looking at them. So I had 5 girls. I had to split them up into like full groups for one outfit, and then the second outfit I did like 2s and 3s. And then like just played with, I had a fisheye lens on that shoot, which is the first time, because I really was trying to have the Tim Walker vibe with the fisheye lens. And they did come out really well.
Those.
You have to be like this close to their faces, but it still looks like you're really far away. So I was like creeping closer. I was like, am I okay? Am I okay?
Are we touching yet?
Yeah, are you there? So with 5 of them and a fisheye lens, I was like really close to their faces, which was hilarious. Like we all had such a laugh, but
Yeah.
and the outcome was fine for some of them, but otherwise I'm not very good with fisheye lens. We'll put it that way. I'm no Tim Walker yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
So yeah, studio for updates is fine. I tend to use the coloured backgrounds.
Yeah. So you natural light when you're doing updates, or a bit of help?
I am mainly flash.
Your flash for those?
Yeah. Yeah, because I think that I know that I'm definitely going to get the result with a flash rather than a natural light. With adults it's fine because like I can have more time with them, but with kids, like I'd rather just know that it's going to look fine. Yeah. I also keep the same lighting setup for every child thing, so they're all going to look the same.
Yeah.
So parents are going to be like, why does mine look different to theirs? It's always the same.
Yeah. So do you use like when you say a flash, are you a flash on the camera or like I'm pretending I know what I'm talking about. Like a softbox vibe.
Yeah. An octobox.
An octobox. Yeah.
Massive one. Massive.
Something, aren't they? So ridiculous.
Yeah, something like that. And then I'll use like a side light if I need more light in the background so it's less shadow. But yeah, location, I just feel like apart from the times where it's maybe not the best weather, because obviously living this far north, it's rare you get a day that's not cold or windy.
Wet.
Windy by the coast. So apart from that, yeah, location just every time. I try and have a base for different places. So whether that be someone's car or one time we use a caravan, just things like that. So when I'm doing multiple outfits, yeah, we can go and chill, and I'll have the makeup artist in there. But for the kids editorial, we just sort of had people's cars. There was a restaurant at the farm, so we had a little lunch break, which I don't think I've ever done before. But yeah, they had a little lunch break, and then we carried on. But after lunch, they were a bit tired, bless them. So
oh bless.
But yeah, so location every time, definitely.
Not always. Okay, so I want to talk to you about your FaceTime shoot that happened so well. I mean, anyone that hasn't been shot by you, And I love them because I'm all about like they've just got such a vibe. Like I just love the vibe of them. They're just a total vibe. That's
Thank you.
my summary of them. So obviously us creators during this time, it's, you know, we're not working and we're trying to keep busy, but we can't do a lot. So, you know, a lot of people are doing them now.
Yeah.
Was you hesitant at the start, or was you like, actually, yeah, I'm up for that straight away? Or
No, I was fully like, I'm not doing FaceTime shoots. Like, no, no
yeah,
thanks. Not for me. No. Who would be silly enough to do FaceTime shoots? What?
I think I actually said that to you as well,
Yeah.
didn't I? Oh, yeah, but they look great, but you're crazy.
Yeah, utterly crazy.
So,
But yeah, and here I am, 12
and
shoots down.
is it 12 that you've done now?
12. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, yeah, they're just like churning out. Um, I mean, the logistics of them, uh, are they tough, or actually once you get your head around it, they're okay?
No, they're very stressful, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Um, some are easier than others. Some have been really, really hard.
Mm.
Um, I could have done way more, but it actually takes so much out of me, and it's unbelievable how much like stress it puts on you, and
Yeah.
how like yeah, it just like warps your mind of like, what am I doing? What happens if these are bad? And
Yeah. Because we do that anyway. Like any job that we do, that fear and that sometimes just those nerves, you're like, oh, you just want it to go perfect, but you have all
yeah,
these kind of you know, pieces that you have to think of. So with this, you're thinking not only of, you know, connecting with the model,
yeah,
making them feel comfortable, but you're doing that through a phone, like through a screen. Like that blows my mind. Like that's incredible. That is such a skill as well.
yeah,
Like that's a total skill in itself. But then you've got things like tech, like Wi-Fi signal and internet,
yeah,
and different people's phones and quality of different people's phones. Like it's
yeah.
just ending.
I know, yeah, that has been the worst. The connection is the hardest part. And you know, getting the parents to do my job essentially, like they are me for
Yeah,
that time, for that hour, they are me. And
yeah,
that's so hard to be like, I've never met you before, but I need you to do this for me.
yeah.
I need you to do this angle or get closer or move further back, or I need you to turn so you're facing the wind. Oh, honestly.
And as well, like, and obviously in my photography, it's not my thing, but obviously with you, like we've discussed, with the styling.
Yeah.
And so how does that work? So do you speak about that beforehand?
With some of them I have, yeah. Some of them I'll send like certain like maybe poses from a Pinterest board. Like I
Is that
want this kind of vibe.
kind of doing like a mood board as well, essentially, for each kid that you're shooting? You're putting that
Yeah,
on there, kind of, this is the vibe we're going for, help me out here, kind of thing.
yeah. I sort of say to them like, send me images of locations in your house, or if the
Yeah,
Wi-Fi is good outside, like outside your house, just so I can get an idea of what kind of thing we're gonna do, where I'm gonna be. Just so on the day, like I'm not taking up too much of your time, because obviously I know they've all been homeschooling, and
yeah,
just to get on with it, yeah. Especially the people that I've never met before.
yeah.
You know, it's really difficult trying to talk to somebody you've never met. They've all been so lovely and like so patient with me, but at the same time, not having like, here's some clothes, put these on. I'm just going, what do you have? What?
It's making my palms sweat just thinking. Honestly, I mean, I've been asked a couple of times, you know, can you do one of these FaceTime shoots? And I'm just like, no,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know where to start. And yeah, I mean, in terms of styling, it's like, like
Yeah.
my phone is rubbish. Like, yeah, I my hat goes off to you and everyone doing it, because And not only are you cracking on and, you know, it's keeping you busy and you're doing it, but the outcome and the results are amazing as well. Like, you're doing a really good job of it.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
yeah. No, I think they look great. And I can't believe you've done 12.
12.
So, you doing any more?
I think I have maybe one or two more this week.
And then take a break.
Yeah, I do have loads of people asking, but it's so hard. Like when I have two a day, I also forget that I've got other things to do in that day. And because I'm on for an hour or so, like depending on
Yeah.
who it is, that takes up a lot of my day. And I also do have stuff like work for the theatre to do. Like I am still working for the theatre from home. So I forget that I've got.
Them. What kind of stuff does that involve?
So I do like box office work. So all the events that have been cancelled, like I have to contact the customers and tell them, you know, but yeah, so I'm just like customer services basically for anybody that wants to know what's happening to their tickets or if they're going to get their money back, etc., etc. So
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
yeah,
Right.
so I
Yeah,
do forget that I do have other things to do during the day. So then I can't do many a day, and then also it still takes me time to edit them. As
that's the prep, the shoot, and the edit. Like it's
Yeah, as much as I'm just screenshotting them, like there is an edit process afterwards to obviously make them look slightly better quality,
yeah,
and to sort of put my style on them in terms of like slightly editing them the way I would usually do.
yeah,
So there is still that process, so that there is like a backlog, but then I'm also trying to put like one on my Insta and then like part two, and then so
yeah.
it is the upkeep of. They get about 20 to 30 images out of each shoot.
Wow, gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm still working. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, so you got a couple this week, but possibly taking a break.
Yeah, I mean a few people have said like, can I pay you to do one? And I'm like, no, like the quality is not
Yeah,
worth it. I'd feel really bad if
I,
they paid me and they
yeah,
came out terrible.
because that's the thing. I mean, I think they're great. I think they're amazing in terms of keeping us busy, both for you and for the
Yeah,
model. Um, kind of refreshing the model as well. Like they've not been in front of a camera for, you know, so
yeah,
long. You're a little bit rusty, a little bit nervous. So in terms, you know, for the confidence and getting them up back and running, I think they're great as well. But can their agencies use them? I'm not sure.
no, 100% not, no.
Like post them on Instagram during this time.
Yeah,
Yeah, not. So yeah, to be charging for them, it is a bit like, oh my,
no.
yeah, that's interesting actually. I mean, I wonder if many are. I don't know if any are, but
I really hope they're not because I
yeah,
don't know how they could be getting better quality than mine.
yeah,
Unless somebody's got like a great connection and it is like quite focused, but even then, as a big image, it's not in focus. Like
no,
it's pixelated. Like it's
great,
not fully.
but
Yeah, it works in a grid form or in
yeah,
like a single photo. It works because you think that they look a lot more focused than they actually are.
yeah,
But to be paying for them, I mean, unless you want to pay for somebody's time, but right now
yeah,
we've got all this time, so it's not really going out of my way to do it. It's just giving me something to do with my day.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, I feel a bit weird about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
doesn't feel right, does it?
No, no, not to
Like,
me, no.
especially when we get back up and running and stuff as well, and we do get back to the grind. It's kind of like, so you've been paying me for my phone
Yeah.
shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, not yeah.
No, no.
So really quickly then, can you tell us about your Dandelion magazine? Like, where did that idea come from? I want to hear all about. Spoken about that, really, have we?
No. I suppose it's because it's just like a little baby at the moment. Like it's just sort of there.
Yeah.
Like just going on about its day on Instagram. Just uh, that's what it's like. So I did 2 issues of a magazine or years ago. when I was doing my shoots back in Berwick. And I did 2 issues in print, just with like me taking some editorial style images, and then featuring other people in this magazine. And I enjoyed it. It was a lot of work. It was just me that did it. It was very stressful, but the outcome and everyone liked them, and it was good. So I thought, oh well, I've done it before. Maybe I could do it again.
Yeah.
So because I get a lot of my stuff printed in magazines, it's also very hard to get printed in magazines, and I feel like um, sometimes they reject things that maybe could have been in their magazine. Like I've had a lot of rejections from magazines I think that my work could have fit into.
Yeah.
But it's obviously just the content of my editorial, not
Yeah.
necessarily my how good I am. It's obviously just the content, which is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
But thankfully, nearly all my editorials have been published either in print or digital. And
Yeah.
I just absolutely loved seeing the models so excited to receive that magazine.
There's nothing,
Um,
is there, when it's
I
just
know,
a digital world. So I feel like print is really special, and especially
yeah,
when it's based in print as well. Like, yeah, it is.
yeah. I
It
do
is.
strive that like all of my editorials will get printed, hopefully in print.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people also want to work with me because of that there is that possibility.
Yeah.
Which is more pressure on me,
Yeah. Little
but
bit.
I'm okay with that. So yeah, I decided that I wanted to do one because I felt there was a lot of people that were missing out on maybe getting their work published. Some people that were really good and maybe didn't know how to get their work published or how to format it in a way that you send off that looks professional.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, a lot of people that I think aren't being noticed. And maybe a lot of brands whose stuff I could use, whether that be clothing, accessories, things like that. A lot of stuff that I could use in my shoots that would help me out and would also give them exposure.
Really,
So
it's a nice idea.
yeah,
Like, it comes from a good place as well. But
yeah. So like the motto is like celebrating the up and coming. So
yeah,
um,
because it's like stylist, makeup artist, hairstylist, isn't it? Kind of.
yeah, so I basically want photographers to like collaborate with people like that, and do shoots involving other people, and maybe I use like uni designers work. Like I work sort of closely with Teesside Uni,
Oh,
um, and I shoot like their end of year collections, in like an editorial shoot form. Yeah, it's really cool. But their work's incredible, and I used one of the girls' suits for one of my editorials that got printed. And that
wow.
just looks insane. So yeah, I just want people to have the opportunity to get their work in a magazine in print.
Yeah,
Um, and for me to also help other people to produce work. So whether that be like they come to me for ideas, or if I've got time, I can style some of their shoots. Just so it's one big collective of people from all over the world that maybe don't get their chance to be noticed.
yeah, because it's such a big pool as well, isn't it? I mean, there's so many
Yeah,
XYZ. So yeah, I think that's nice to have another platform for those people to try and get
yeah.
them, because
I
it's
think it's
hard.
because that's how, like, yeah, that's how I've always felt though. Like, I've never worked for any brands. Like, I've never had any paid work.
Yeah,
Like I've been doing it for so long, but never got to that stage because
that's it.
living up here, there's not really much. There aren't any agencies that have like brands that would help me, or most of the work's like Manchester based or further down. So
Yeah,
I feel like I've always gone like under the radar, and I've always been there, but people really maybe necessarily knew my name but not what I did, or knew that I was a photographer but maybe not what my work was, or maybe
yeah,
how good I was. So like, yeah, I feel like I feel like I've always felt that way. And I want other people to maybe have the chance that I didn't have.
yeah. No, I think that's really nice. But it's funny because obviously you're kind of like Newcastle way, aren't you? You're like,
Yeah.
I mean, you may as well be in another country to me.
Yeah. Yes.
You far away. But
Yeah.
I mean, my last question was, have you got any projects coming up, or kind of sparked any project ideas since being in lockdown? You got?
There are a couple of, or maybe one editorial I definitely want to do. Um, and again, I'm just watching the news closely because I feel like I can maybe do it on location with one person and just stay away from them. It is possible I could do that. I don't know how it would work in terms of styling. That's my only problem. I can obviously like adjust anything, or I'd have to work with somebody that knew what they were doing.
Yeah, because how many times are we kind of like moving people, moving hair, what you wear?
So
get out of that habit. It's like it's weird. It's gonna be
yeah,
weird.
definitely one. And then obviously I've got stuff. I want people to start doing stuff for Dandelion so I can get this issue 1 off the ground. Start people like submitting things. And then I do want to do another kids editorial. I have a couple of ideas, but again, it just depends on this whole mess.
I feel like, it's all flying around at the minute with, such and such has put out a casting call, such and such is willing to work next week, and there's all judgment around, well, if they're willing to work next week, then that's wrong. Somebody's like, well, I think that's fine. It's kind of like we're not all in the same boat because everybody's boat is different. We're all in the same storm, but everybody's boat is so different, whether it's financially, whether it's health, job wise. It's just never ended. So I feel like, kind of when we do get the go ahead, which will be, it won't be like, yes, photographers, you can go out and shoot. It won't be. It's going to be, you kind of can, but at your own risk with the, specific precautions in place. And it's, just, I feel like we're going to get judged by somebody at some point.
I think it definitely has to be a conversation between, like, say I'm doing a kids editorial, like the parents, the agency. It's definitely who you're working with. If they're all okay with it, then I really don't think that there's a problem and nobody else should be judging. It's, if everyone's fine, we go for it. But I mean, we have something we want to do, but will we ever get to do it?
Exactly, so we've been talking, I don't know what exactly, but we're definitely, I mean, probably next year now. God. But, we 100% are going to be doing something. We need to put our heads together, don't we? But it's exciting because I think we could come up with something quite cool. I'm not going to touch the styling, obviously.
That's fine. I'm more than happy for that.
Is happening. And whether that will be up your way or down here or in the middle.
Meet in the middle.
The possibilities are endless. So I think we do need to start brainstorming that, actually.
Definitely. It'll give us something to do.
Exactly. It's just kind of, I think we're probably best off just literally throwing out a pool of ideas and then plucking. Because I feel like as well, and I feel like you're the same with your like storytelling, in terms of some parents say, have you got any editorials coming up? And it's kind of like, I don't just pluck them out of thin air. An editorial needs to have substance, needs to have meaning. I want it to tell a story, and I want people to kind of take something away from it. I mean, I don't mean it has to be deep and meaningful, but there has to be substance to it. It can't just be pretty kids with a pretty background.
No, that's not me. No.
It has to speak, and there has to be way more to it. So those ideas don't just pop up, do they? I mean,
no. It's also really hard because a lot of parents are always like, why didn't you choose my child? And there's so much that goes into it, and it's not just I chose them because I've worked with them before, or I chose them because I'll just like the way that they look. It's to do with height. It's to do with, like, if they're not the same is there not a good consistent of height or the same height, or it's all to do with how it's going to look?
The vibe of the whole, you know, story. I mean, there's so much that goes into it, and not only with the models, it's financially, like, we don't get paid for it.
No, that's one thing that everyone says.
Yeah.
To get paid?
Yeah.
No.
No. We get paid.
Who buy?
Yeah.
Hello, please pay me.
Anyone.
Anyone? Morris, are you going to pay me for this?
Like, a whole team of people to orchestrate as well, like hair, makeup, styling. Like, they don't get paid either, and it's them having the time to do it, you having the time to do it, the model having to do it, all coming together.
Yeah.
You know, finding a location that allows you to shoot there, and them not wanting paying. So then sometimes you're actually...
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had that before. Yeah, £70 for, you know, an hour in this place, and it was actually terrible, and I hated the photos. That was a waste.
So yeah, editing skills are hard work. For, you know, we want something amazing in our books, and we want, you know, everybody else in the team to have something amazing in their books, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're hard.
Well, if you need any clothes, I have a full wardrobe with different size stuff and shoes. I can just ship them to you.
Honestly, I wish so far. Gosh, I mean, my wardrobe is embarrassing. And in terms, like, when I get model updates and stuff, like, I don't have a wardrobe for them to kind of pick out from or get clothes in, that. But yeah, I want to come and shoot with you. I want you to style me.
Yeah, let's do it.
But yeah, we will 1000% do something together.
It's definitely.
When and that.
When, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But well, that's all my questions. I'm all out. It's so funny when you were like, so what are we going to be talking about? And I just sent you like, you're up to much.
I've got to put some washing on.
Lovely. I need to do that as well.
I'm going to make another banana bread because I've got 2 off bananas. Perfect. And then I've got some editing to do, would you believe?
Lovely. Oh, speaking for an hour, because apparently it kicks. Have you got that timer?
No.
It's counting me down.
Oh,
how funny. So we're going to get off in a minute.
Great.
But yeah, thank you so much.
That's all right.
That was so much fun. Oh.
Well, enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you're going to do. What are you going to do?
Well, I need to I'm going to clean and tidy. I'm in the zone for it. So
yes.
Yeah. And then I think I'm going to make a spag bowl.
Very nice.
Holiday. I just woke up. Really
a fancy spag bowl for breakfast.
No. Nice and healthy.
Always.
Yeah.
Nice healthy.
With loads of cheese.
Yeah, of course it is. I think we're going to make cottage pie. That's healthy. Potato and cheese.
Yeah. Oh. Now you got
Yeah.
Right. So cool. Oh.
Okay.
Right, well, I'll probably speak to you in a minute anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.